Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever time you pick this class up. Welcome, my name is Erica, and we're creating this set of classes for you over the holidays. This class in particular is to help you stretch and digest and kick into that parasympathetic nervous system of rest and digest. We'll be doing a deep stretch class today. I also teach deep stretch at the Lake Norman YMCA, along with another Vinyasa yoga class and group power classes. Come join me sometime if you get a chance. Today we'll start seated, and we're actually going to do the entire practice just down on the mat. We're going to really kind of take it easy, stretch it out, and stay with our breath. That's going to be the key for you today, is to just breathe. Find your sits bones, find a comfortable seat. If it's not comfortable, feel free to use a blanket or blocks. Go ahead and put those under your seat to help get that neutral pelvic tilt so your spine can lift up long, stacked up, reaching the top of the head up to the sky. Roll the shoulders up, squeeze them up, and lower them back down softly, and start to notice your breath. Maybe you've made it to your mat today after some hectic, busy work, play, or traffic. Regardless of where you're coming from, just quiet, smooth breath. Maybe even taking one hand to the heart and the other to the abdomen. And feel your breath move through the body. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. Now you find that you're kind of super stressed or a little bit tight, feel free to take a bigger inhale, squeeze the shoulders up towards the ears, pause for a moment, and exhale out your mouth. Let the shoulders move away from the ears. Continuing to deepen the breath. Inhales, belly button moves away from the spine. And exhales, belly button toward the spine. Feeling that movement, allowing the diaphragm to take some action as you breathe. And if it's in your practice, feel free to start an ujjayi breath. It's that H sound in the back of the throat with the lips closed. Smooth, full, quiet breath with just maybe a little wave-like sound. Again, if you've come in stressed or your mind is jumping around, really concentrate on that breath. Maybe take your mind to counting the length of the inhale and match that with the exhale. Begin a little movement, inhaling, reaching the hands up and overhead. And exhale, palms down, paint the walls, taking the entire breath for the entire movement. Let's do a couple more just like that. Inhale, lift. Reach the shoulders up away from the hips. Exhale, lower. This time we'll inhale, lift. And our exhale, we'll take our hands to the knees. Inhale, a little more length to the spine. And exhale, cat. Tip the tailbone forward, tuck the chin, belly button to spine. Inhale to cow. Elbows reach back, bringing the center of the body forward. tailbone back, chest open. Exhale, cat. And inhale, cow. Go ahead, close your eyes and move through a couple more cat-cows with your breath, maybe even rocking it a little bit, following into cat with your tailbone, and into cow, the head leads, following you up and open to the front of the body. Take your time, and after a couple cat-cows, getting a couple circles through the hips or a little bit more organic through the side bodies. If you have to sit a lot during the day, these circles through the hips are really good for kind of just letting everything open up. Maybe you want to do a few circles one direction and then the other, or maybe just alternate one direction and the other. Whatever you do, movement with the breath. And after you've rolled out a few in each direction, once again, find the sits bones, the length in the spine, reaching the hands way out. Inhale, up. And exhale, tip to one side, taking the hand down, reaching across, opening up to the front of the body and breathing into this open side body. Feel the ribs move as you inhale and exhale. On an inhale, rise up. And exhale, hinge, tip other direction, staying open through the front of the body. And breathing into that other side rib cage, feeling the ribs move as you breathe. If you have a habit of just breathing into the chest and not into the ribs, inhale up, feel both ribs move as you inhale, and exhale, take a twist to one direction. Let the fingertips touch the ground in front and behind. Pivot the chin towards the back shoulder. Inhale, lift and reach through center. And exhale, other side. Inhale, lift and reach. Maybe even look up. Exhale, goddess or goalpost arms. Lift the chest, elbows forward. A little wiggle of the fingers. Maybe a little wiggle of the toes. Open up. Reach through the elbows so the shoulders are moving away from each other. Reach the palms up, fingertips out, arms nice and open. Exhale, take the fingertips together in front of you, round the back. Again, a little bit more cat. And we'll inhale, palms up and open, thumbs back, maybe a little cow with the spine. Exhale, cat, fingertips touch. Feel each pad of each finger touch the other side. Inhale, open. Hold here. Lift the heart. Lift the face like you're getting a little sunshine on your face, maybe a smile. Take a big inhale, reach up. And exhale, lower down. Go ahead and take the feet in front of you and the hands behind. You can windshield wiper the knees. Lift the heart, getting a little bit of a shoulder stretch. Squeeze the elbows into each other. And then slide the hips back. Staff pose. Reach those feet out in front. Lift the heels. Kickstand your hands to the mat. Lower the heels to the mat. On an inhale, reach the hands up high to the sky. Reach shoulders away from the hips. Hinge forward with a nice neutral spine. And exhale, lower the hands down as soon as you feel sensation in the hamstrings. If you feel like your back is starting to round, then go ahead and maybe even take a bend in the knees. You could put a blanket or blocks under so that you can keep your spine long and work the front of the body towards the front of the legs. If you have the space and don't need the blanket, go ahead and stay without the blanket, lengthen the spine and hinge forward a little more. Maybe peace fingers to big toes. As we hang out here for a good number of breaths, use your breath to move through the body with the mind and see where you can release and let go. Are you holding tension in your jaw or your shoulders? Can you let those go? If they're up by your ears, move them away. Melt the heart to the knees. You can let the head go. Deeply breathe that ujjayi or full, smooth, even breath. Little adjustments. And maybe noticing after a few breaths, a little more release. Maybe a little bit more length in the spine. And hinging forward a little more. Wherever you choose to go, just not pushing yourself where you're not yet. Letting yourself be at that edge and breathe into it, releasing and letting go. Maybe palms open and up. Feeling tightness in the lower back, maybe lifting out of it a little bit, or bringing that breath into the lower back, feeling some width and space in that sacrum area. And exhale, releasing the tension. Another full deep breath here. Fully exhale. And on your inhale, rise up. Go ahead and reach those hands back up. And exhale them down to your sides. On your inhale, squeeze in a leg. And exhale, hug it in nice and tight. Try to get your heel as close to the sits bone as possible. And just wrap the arms around in a big hug. As you inhale, sits bones to the floor, to the mat. As you exhale, reaching the top of the head, the crown, as if you'd set a crown right on your head, up to the sky. Maybe a little activation in the extended legs foot. And if it would feel good, take the opposite elbow to the opposite knee, reaching the same elbow or the same arm back, a little twist looking over the back shoulder. Full breath. Here you should be able to feel the ribs move on your leg. And the chin is pivoted towards the back shoulder, not lifted too high or dumped too low. Just a nice neutral chin. Another breath or two here. And on your next inhale, reaching the hand that's behind you, reaching it up and exhaling it to the knee, taking a seated tree pose, knee out to the side, plug your foot into the other leg, framing up that extended leg. Inhale, reach up, and exhale, again, hinge forward till you feel that sensation and stretch. Then ground the hands to the mat, shin, or foot. If having the knee out to the side is bothersome on the hip flexor, again, a blanket or a block could be put under that leg to reduce that pinch in the hip. So pick what you need to do to make this stretch comfortable to you. To allow it to be a stretch and not forcing yourself. Anytime you need, take an inhale to half lift and lengthen, lengthening the spine, and the exhale melts the heart over the knee, and let the head go. long, full, big, beautiful breath. Again, as we hold these poses for a little bit longer, sometimes the mind starts to wander, whether it's going to a to-do list, grocery list, or something that's happened already today. Go ahead and let that go. See if you can let that thought, that list, drift by and bring your mindfulness back to the breath and allowing the breath to move through the body, noticing where you may need to exhale, release, let go of any tension. Let gravity take the body towards the mat. Another breath. And inhale, rise up. Nice strong core. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, bring the hands back down. Let's inhale the bent knee up towards the ceiling and exhale it out. Maybe take the hands behind you, get a little pitter patter in the knees, lift the heart, a little shoulder stretch. And then walk the hands back by the hips, finding that kickstand of the spine. We're going to inhale the other leg, lift it, bring it, heel as close to the sits bone as possible. Exhale, hug it in. Same elbow to same knee. Just give it a nice hug. Finding your posture. Little of activity in that extended legs foot. And breathing from the crown of the head to the tailbone. Let the shoulders, even though you're hugging, let the shoulders melt from the ears. And then we'll take the opposite arm to the opposite leg. And then the other hand will reach up, kickstand behind you, pivoting the chin over that back shoulder. I like the hug in of the leg rather than hooking the elbow, but you can choose whichever one you'd like. I like the hugging in of the leg. It gives a nice stretch to the outer IT band side of the leg. Again, checking in with the chin, not lifted too high or tucked too low. And breathe. Inhaling back up through center and exhale this knee out to the side, foot plugged into the other leg, framing up the extended leg. Inhale, reach up, feeling those sits bones to the mat. Exhale, hinge forward till you feel that sensation in the leg, glute, hamstring, and melt over the leg. Let the hands come down and the head go. Again, maybe palms open, ready to release what you don't need. Let go of that gripping, that grasping. Maybe it's in the hands, the shoulders, or the jaw. Maybe it's even in the ears. See if you can just kind of let everything go and breathe deeply. That deep breath, kind of allowing the parasympathetic nervous system to start taking over. Moving into the rest and digest, and leaving behind the fight or flight. in. If you find yourself with a grimace on your face or fighting and pulling into a stretch, back out of it. Find that beautiful, sweet discomfort, that stretch but not pulling or tearing. Letting go. On an inhale, strong core, rise up, reach up, and exhale those hands back down. Inhaling that other knee lifted, and exhale, slide it out. Go ahead and pitter-patter the legs, roll the shoulders back, palm the mat, take the feet to the floor and walk the hips forward. Now you've got a big shoulder stretch. If it's too much, walk the hands closer to the hips, or if it's not enough, maybe walk the hips a little closer to the heels. Reach through the crown of the head and the sits bones. Hug those elbows toward one another. Feel free to get a little windshield wiper with the knees. And then we'll take the knees together and feet wide. Keep lifting and squeeze the knees together as you lift the heart just a little bit more. Take a few breaths here. If at all this hurts the wrist, play with the direction of your fingertips or feel free to move to fists. Walking the feet back in together. Go ahead and take the hands around the knees, hugging the knees. Kind of stay tipped back a little bit with the back nice and flat. Breathe into the belly. Feel that belly button move as you inhale away from the spine and as you exhale toward the spine. If you'd like to go a little bit warmer, feel free to play with a version of boat, keeping the shoulders down the back, maybe lifting the heels, building a little heat before we melt back onto the mat. Maybe a little shake right through the center, getting that digestive system firing. Feel free to play with boat, canoe, boat, canoe, or if you're really just wanting to hang out, let yourself go all the way down to the mat. Shimmy through the hips. Any little adjustments that you need to make. Go ahead and reach the hands way up overhead, kind of like a baby star. Feet mat width apart, hands mat width apart. Take your left ankle over your right ankle and take your left wrist in your right hand and draw yourself across into a banana or crescent shape and breathe. Open up those left side ribs, taking the breath fully into the lungs. And then fully exhaling. If this is too much, don't cross the feet and don't hold the wrists. Take any variation you choose. On an inhale, walk through center, back to that little star, and then exhale other side, crossing the other ankle, holding onto the other wrist, and breathing into the other side of the body. You might be able to feel this in the hips and the psoas. And that whole side body that's open up into the shoulder. Breathe up and down that whole side body. breath or two here. Inhale back to that little baby star. Take a big full inhale. As you exhale, slide in the feet and the hands, bending the knees and elbows, hug in, lift the head, take that belly button to the spine. As you inhale, open up into that baby star. Exhale, slide the heels in, bend the elbows, bend the knees, hug in, squeeze the elbows to the knees and the knees to the elbows, and then inhale, release and open. Reach, 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 and exhale one more time. Hug in, knees to elbows, elbows to knees. And then lower the feet down to the mat, arms in a T. Windshield wiper out the knees. Let's go ahead and hug in the right knee. Gently creating space, head away from the shoulders. And if you'd like, extend the left leg out long. Almost like you're taking the feet away from each other. Shoulders melted to the mat. Feel the breath move the ribs. Holding on to the top of this knee, do some big circles through the hips. And switch directions. Go ahead and take this knee right above the hip, knee at 90 degrees. Other hand holds on to the knee. Other arm out in a T, spinal twist. Draw it across midline body until you feel a lovely spinal twist. And then hang out there for a few breaths. Looking over the opposite arm, looking over the extended arm. If you didn't extend the other leg, you can have the knees bent both at 90 degrees over to the side. You pick it. This is your spinal twist. Let gravity take your body to the mat. Release, let go. We're in so much constant motion during the day, or tense and tight, whether it be at a computer or at a steering wheel. Let your breath let go of that. Anytime you need to, exhaling out the mouth. Gently inhale, bring the knee back up over the hip. Exhale it in for a hug. And taking the left foot to the floor, we're going to go for supine pigeon, pigeon on the back. Ankle to knee, reach through and hug it in. Do some circles with the ankles. One direction, nice and slow, and then the other. Here we're keeping our tailbone to the mat, finding an external rotation of that right leg and letting the shoulders just melt to the mat, soft jaw. If holding the back of the leg at the hamstring is not enough, feel free to reach through and hold on to the shin. Hug it in a little more. You can do some starfish and bear claws with the toes. Inhale, spreading the toes way apart. Exhale, hugging them in. Little adjustments. Maybe even moving through the hips a little bit to notice if this would feel a little bit better in one area or another. Just a little bit of movement. And then see if you can breathe into it and release. Checking in with the breath, that it's full, smooth, even. And if you started with that Ujjayi, to continue. Beautiful. Slowly release the feet to the floor. And again, maybe a little windshield wiper. One knee drops in and then the other. And we'll go ahead and hug in the left knee. Either keeping that right leg foot to the floor or go ahead and extend it out long, almost like you're trying to take the feet away from each other. But still breathing deeply, so maybe you'll even notice that this leg moves a little bit. Inhale, the knee moves away from you, and exhale, moves towards you. You can either lace your fingers or stack the hands one on top of the other. Keeping your focus on your breath. And noticing any places you can release and soften. Let's take the top of the knee and do some circles through this hip. Big, slow circles. With your breath, switching directions. Maybe it's even like a little glute massage on this side. And when you're nice and even, take this knee 90 degrees right above the hip. Opposite hand draws the knee across as the other hand goes out in a T, looking over that extended arm, spinal twist. Again, if you didn't extend the right leg, then your knees are just together, stacked maybe, and even a block could go under the knees, a block or a blanket. You pick your spinal twist, something that feels good in your body. You know, if you're grimacing or clenching your teeth, it's a little too much, so back out. We don't need to invite that fight or flight back. We want rest and digest. Few more breaths, maybe noticing that gravity's bringing the leg a little closer to the mat. Or maybe you're able to release a little more. On an inhale, looking back up, bringing the knee up, giving it a hug, taking the right foot to the floor, and we'll find our supine or reclined pigeon on this side. Hug that other leg in, either holding the hamstring, the back of the leg, or the shin. Maybe you start behind the hamstring. Externally rotate the left knee, tailbone and shoulders melting into the mat, and get some big circles through the ankles. Switching directions. And again, maybe those starfish and bear claws. Inhale, spread those toes, and exhale, hug them in. If you had some movement on the other side, maybe finding a little movement on this side, rolling through the hips. Noticing if you could hang out in a little bit different position that can open up the legs a little more, open up that externally rotated leg. Keeping the jaw soft and not shrugging the ears to the shoulders. full, beautiful breath. Release the hold that you've taken, whether that's your shin or the back of your leg, and inhale, lift the feet up to the sky. If it would feel good, take the arms up and overhead, maybe in goalpost. Breathing here. Flex and flex the feet, point the toes to the face and then towards the ceiling. Go ahead and take lifted Badakanasana, so the bottoms of the feet together, the knees wide. Go ahead and take the hands to the feet and gently draw them in, letting the sits bones or letting the tailbone melt to the mat. Knees nice and wide. Feel the edges of the feet except the arches touching, and see if you can get each toe pad to touch the opposite toe pad. Little squeeze. Soften the shoulders and the jaw. Breathing here. If this is not super accessible for you and you've got a strap available or a towel, you could take those around your feet and hold on to them so you're not having to extend your arms all the way out to your feet. On an exhale, slowly release the feet back to the mat. Keep the feet mat width apart, and go ahead and take the knees to one side and then the other, lowering the knees to the right side, arms in a T, a little bit bigger spinal twist, maybe taking the right ankle on top of the left knee. Maintain the full deep breath. On an inhale, come back through center. And your exhale will find spinal twist on the other side. Dropping the knees, looking over the other arm, and maybe taking that other ankle on top of the other knee. Opening up through the hip and hip flexor. Any shaking is totally normal, just let it be. Breathe through any cramping back out of it. On an inhale, come back up through center. Adjust through the hips and feel free for Supine Badakanasana, bottoms of the feet together, knees wide. Or opposite, take the knees together and the feet out wide. Or slide your heels all the way down to the edges of the mat. Tuck in one shoulder blade and then the other. And take the hands out somewhere comfortably away from the body. Taking an inhale through the nose. Sigh the exhale out your mouth, and as you do so, release effort from the body. Float the eyes closed. Taking another inhale through the nose. Sigh the exhale out the mouth. And let your breath be as it wants to be. Smooth, calm, and even. And allow your body to just melt into the mat. You can feel free to hit the pause button at this point and take the length of Shavasana that you'd like. When you're ready, you can go ahead and hit play again. But staying quiet here in Shavasana. And then starting to take some fuller, deeper breaths. Inhales through the nose, filling the abdomen, and exhales through the nose. Wiggles in the fingers and toes. Rolls in the wrists and the ankles. Maybe reaching overhead for a big total body stretch. Big space between the hands and the feet. And then bringing the feet to the floor, hugging in one knee at a time. Big hug. And then we'll bring both knees in, tight squeeze, maybe drawing the forehead toward the knees. And as you gently melt the head back to the mat, go ahead and gently rock yourself from side to side. A little massage in the back and the hips. And move yourself over to your favorite side, stacking the shoulders, stacking the hips. Once you've stacked the shoulders and hips, pause there for a moment. And allow yourself to bring a thought of gratitude to mind. Maybe that's just being able to take the time that you took for stretching and relaxing, engaging that parasympathetic nervous system. But maybe you have a list of a thing or two that you can add to that gratitude list. When you're ready, gently press yourself into an easy seated pose with as little effort as possible. Gently rising up. Finding a comfortable seat. Finding some length in the spine. Taking a bigger breath. Inhale, feel the belly button move. And draw a slight smile on the lips. Allowing that thought of gratitude from the heart to just warm the entire body. Feeling gratitude for your breath. Taking hands to heart center, feeling the heartbeat. And gratitude for the heartbeat. Something we don't even really have to think about. Well, I'm thankful you joined me today. And if you're not a member of the YMCA, know that you can join now and not pay anything until January. Come try out some classes with us at the Greater Charlotte YMCA locations. Thank you.